So let's go over to Insights and see what we can do with that. The first thing that's going to appear here is a chart of the page view events that we've had in PostHog, as you can see here. I can change the time frame for that, so I can see just yesterday. I can also change that to be the last 2 weeks, for example. So I can change that time range as I like. What I can also do is change the type of chart. So from linear, I can go over to cumulative, which is always going to go up and to the right, which is a nice thing to see. So what we can also do is we can display that in a table, or we can display that in a pie chart, which make more sense when we use filters and breakdown. So let's go back to linear over here. Now I'm going to change from page view, and I'm going to try and find that action. So click GitHub on navbar. It's right here. So now, based on that action, I can see the chart for that specific action. I can add filters here. So let's say click GitHub on navbar, and let's say that, well, the current URL was posthog.com. So that's what we're going to do. In this case, this isn't going to change too much, but that's what we have right here. So let's get rid of that. So now let's try something like breakdown by browser. So let's see the people that click that based on the browser that they use. So here I have it. I have Chrome, and then I have Firefox, and then I have other alternatives here. But a linear chart isn't really the way to see that. So maybe the best way is to go over to a pie. So now I can see this in a pie chart format. I can also change this to a table if I so wish, and these can all be added to dashboards, which we're going to go over later. I can also add filters here. So I can filter by cohort, which we're going to go through later, and I can also filter by a specific property. This property here can be one of many things. The first one is properties that PostHog will capture by default. You can see that with the little hedgehog here. So OS, browser, current URL, etc. There's also properties that you set yourself using our API or one of the integrations. So you can see here PostHog version, has Slack webhook. These are properties that you have set yourself. There's also other properties that we grab by default, like UTM tags. So if you have UTM tags on your links, PostHog will grab that by default, so that you can easily manage your ad campaigns if you're working on the marketing side of things. The final thing to show here is stickiness. So let's go back to linear. And now let's show this as stickiness. So what stickiness shows is how much users are performing an action consistently. So they performed an action on day 0, do they come back and perform that same action on day 1? In this case, clicking GitHub on navbar, they don't. At least for us, that seems to be the case. The stickiness on this action is actually quite low, because once they click it once, they don't seem to be clicking that again. And you can stipulate the kinds of reasons for that. Another cool thing that we have here is history. So if you have created a chart that brought you some nice insights, or a chart that you really liked, but you forgot to add that to a dashboard, then you can always go back through your history and bring back the charts that you had before. So let me click this, for example, and this is the table that I had just a few moments earlier. So I can always bring back, so I can be sure that I'm not losing any of my work. And finally, I can also sort things by a few different metrics here. So for numeric values, I can have a sum, I can have an average, a minimum, and a maximum. And I can also sort, instead of total volume, I can sort, for example, let's go back to page views, and I can sort that by active users, because that's actually what I care about. So let me pick up page view, and I'm going to sort that by active users, and that should naturally be a different value. So that's what you can do here with trends.